Welcome back everyone. Today we are doing another video, but today is not a Zwift race. It is about Zwift, the racing score system and the categorized system. What's the difference? What's the benefits of one another and the potential for both? So yeah, we're going to start with racing score system. What is racing score system? So racing score system, as I'll pull up right here, what is racing score system? So racing score system is a ranking system that replaces traditional categories A to D with a 1,000 to 0 scale, with obviously 0 being the worst cyclists and 1,000 being the best of the best. And it's basically a system where the better you do, the more points you get, which in turn, if you get a certain amount of points, you will be set into a different category, such as, I don't know, A, B or C, or D even. But, yeah, so right now I've got 470 racing score points, and I am in what we call the low B end, high C. It's basically a mix of high end C riders and low B riders, yeah, as you would know. And yeah, it basically means that everyone can have a very good time, you know, because the problem with the the old categorized system, A, B, C and D, is that once you get forced promoted, so like I got when I went from C, I went to B, and yeah, so I went to B, and I had a horrible time. You know, I wasn't anywhere near the front. I wasn't enjoying racing. I was just struggling all the time. You know, being at the back, wasn't doing well, and so then I tried a racing score system, where, you know, there was some C riders, but then you also had low end Bs like me. So we were also all basically like in the same level as one another, and it was just really brilliant. Me racing, and yeah, I really prefer the racing score system. Pardon me. As you know, I get to be competitive again. Like today, I did a race and, you know, got 8th out of like 20. You know, but I was in the front group the whole race, and I actually got to be competitive. You know, I enjoyed racing. And whereas with the categorized system, you know, Cat B is a mess. You've got A riders who are riding in B because they don't like A. You've got newcomers who are absolutely getting destroyed by everyone, like me. And, you know, there was just so much chaos going on everywhere, and it's just really not enjoyable. So yeah, that's the main reason why I decided to step out of the categorized system and move on to the racing score, as I think it's just a more innovative system that Zwift has implemented to you know, get racers more to get racers to enjoy their time more whilst racing in, you know, a race, for example. So here, what's new in the iteration of the racing score? So they've completely revamped our model from the way we put input initial values to how we handle score progression. So now we're going to be talking about the category enforcement and what it is, what it does. So what is category enforcement? Category enforcement examines a Zwifter's historical performance based on power curve data, and then identifies the minimum pace group they can join for a race. So if Cat C, for example, is from 2.4 watts per kilos to 3.2 watts per kilos, you will, if you do a race over 3.3, 3.4, whatever it is, you will be put in D. That's it. That's what happened to me. You know, I did out Zwift, did 3.5 watts per kilo, immediately shoved my ass up into B because 3.5 watts per kilo for an hour. You know, it's B pace. It's not C anymore. So yeah, it can happen with all categories as you exceed the 4 watt kilo. For B, you'll just be putting A. You know, it's the way it is. So category enforcement prevents a Zwifter from joining pace group that's too easy for them based on their powered data. Now this is a thing that Racing Score does not have. So the other day, well yesterday, I found a Cat A racer who was in the same pen as me and had a slightly higher racing score than me, but we were in still in the low B, high C end. Had a look at his profile, did a load of Cat A races, but didn't do well in them. So, but actually did win after we finished. Yeah, he destroyed the field. You know, broke away on the climb. That's about it. Never saw him again, and he did actually get promoted to the next racing score category. So that is a bit downside of Racing Score, is that people who haven't really raced before but are still very capable Zwifters are just put into a race which Zwift thinks is good for them, but is actually, like, you know, way too easy for them, and it just ruins the experience for all the other people basically. And so also the differences between category enforcement and a racing score is that category enforcement looks at your 12-minute power and your 1-minute power. So it really looks at your kicks, like how much kick have you got. And luckily, well, unluckily for me, to be honest, I've got a 3.8 watt per kilo for 10 minutes, more or less, and a 1-minute power of like 6 watts, well, yeah, about 6 watts per kilo. So yeah, I've got a right kick in me, but that's about where it ends for me. My other thing that I'm quite good at is my sprint, but that's pretty much it. I'm not a great climber, and when it comes to long pacey climbs, I just get fatigued more over time. Whereas the racing score actually just looks at your 1 minute and I think your 30-second power, is it? So yeah, it's quite a lot different, but I do prefer racing score a lot, as you know, it just makes me enjoy Zwift racing a lot more. I also did a comparison which we'll look at right now. So this was my race. So Swift Stage 5 Pinarello powered, which is this week's monthly Swift race, using racing score. C, as you see, there's a massive C letter there. This is the number of racing score that so you know the A, B, C, D categorized system. This is the C of racing score basically. So as you can see here, this was the route that I did. Set PBs on every single climb, and yeah, so I finished. You can see my little blue dot. That's me over there. So there'll be a little blue dot, and you can see that I finished in about 43 minutes and 56 seconds. Now this was with the front group, and we averaged about about 30k an hour. No, faster than that. Yeah, about 32k an hour. So yeah, this was my my racing score race, where I was actually bunched up in a group and not just a lone warrior. So yeah, here we go. Average speed 33.6 kilometers per hour, and elapsed time, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's 1 hour. That's included cool down, warm up, etc., etc. Now we'll go on to the categorized system, which I did 2 days before that. If it'll just load. So we go to here. Here we go. 1 sec. Here we go. Pulling it up now. So this is May and 8 B cat. So I finished the race in 47 minutes. So this just shows you how much I'm 4 minutes faster throughout 26.6 kilometers than I was with racing score. So, but might have just been me, might have just been a bad leg day, but I think it's just the fact that, you know, being in the group, it's a mental thing as well, because like the thing, so if you're in a group, you know, you got people to follow, you're doing really well, you're happy, you know, everything's going really well. It affects how you produce power as well. Like, I know for a fact when I'm in a front group and I know I'm doing really well, I'm gonna smash it out the bag. But when I've been dropped and I'm like 82nd out of 100 people in Cat B, I'm just not feeling it, you know. I'm getting dropped from every group that I stay in, and I'm just not enjoying it. And yeah, this is probably the reason why I dislike Cat B. It's just I'm not able to stay with anyone. I tried to stay in the front group. I'm just not able to produce power. Like, I put out a video literally yesterday. Did 5 watts per kilo and still got dropped by the front group, you know. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not able to stay with the front group. And Marky Mark Swift actually commented on my video and said, you know, Swift doesn't favour the lighter riders. As you might know, you might not know, I'm 60 kg, featherweight. So Marky Mark Swift actually said, you know, 70 kg, 75 kg is pretty much where you want to be with Swift. If you can put out high power numbers with that kilograms, with that amount of weight, you're in a good spot, you know. So for me personally, on this section right here, this is the grade. You see the little blue dot. This is where I got dropped in both races, actually, because I'm such a featherweight. You know, 60 kg is not a lot. So, you know, going downhill, the bigger riders will obviously go a lot faster than me. So I'm having to maintain like 3.8 watts per kilo just to stay with them whilst they can do 1 or don't even have to pedal. So they can recover a lot more. And, you know, I just didn't get that recovery time. For sure, after a massive climb, you see here, it ascended from, one sec. Yeah, it ascended to 144 meters, which is quite a lot. The climbs were quite steep, and for sure the last part, which was the steepest part of the climb, as you can see my little blue dot, was literally the most painful part of the whole cycle, as you know, my legs were just done. And this route was especially painful as you started with a climb here. You had like a 1 minute rest and then you'd get another com. So this is just absolutely diabolical. Could not stay with anyone in the BCAT race. Thankfully though, in the racing school race I had loads of fun and actually dropped quite a few people, which I was very happy about, you know, and it kept me going. We actually dropped Ben Foster, the cycling goalkeeper. Don't know if you know him, professional footballer, used to be, I don't know. So yeah, big fan of his, to be honest, like his YouTube. So yeah, that was pretty much it about the racing score and category enforcement. So for me, right now, I'll be racing more on racing score, so for future videos, expect me to be doing racing score. And yeah, category enforcement is actually going to be disappearing, so racing score will be the only thing that'll be around. So category enforcement, I think this month, maybe in 2 weeks, it will be disappearing. So yeah, racing score will be the only thing that'll stick around as the racing. So yeah, I'll be sticking around in racing score for future videos. Yeah, that was about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.